रेडिएंट उपदेश ऑफ गीता के समापन पर मैं ईश्वर पुत्र आदि श्री अरुण आपसे अपना विचार शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। हे मनुष्य, जितने भी जीव हैं सब लोकों से लौटकर अंत में वे सभी इसी धरती पर आते हैं, लेकिन जो व्यक्ति या जो जीव ईश्वर के शरण में आते हैं उनका आवागमन मिट जाता है, वे फिर कभी इस धरती पर नहीं आते।
जीव भूमि पर लौट कर सब लोकों से आए, वो नहीं लौटे फिर यहाँ शरण जो मेरी आए।
यदि कोई व्यक्ति दुराचारी से भी अतिशय दुराचारी हो, पापी से भी महापापी हो, चाहे चांडाल हो, चाहे पाप योनियों में हो, अथवा स्त्री हो या चारों वर्ण जैसे ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य तथा शूद्र हो, यदि वह भी ईश्वर के शरण में जाता है तो वह परम गति को प्राप्त होता है, अर्थात वह व्यक्ति जन्म मृत्यु से छुटकारा पा लेता है। वह व्यक्ति शीघ्र ही धर्मात्मा हो जाता है तथा उस व्यक्ति का कभी नाश नहीं होता है।
जो भी दुराचारी पापी हो जन्मों जन्मों पाप कमाए, लेकर मन में भाव प्रेम का मेरी शरण में जो आ जाए, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो जो भी मेरा ध्यान लगाए। मेरे भक्त का नाश ना हो कभी जन्म मरण से मुक्ति पाए, आश्रित मुझ पर मेरी कृपा से शाश्वत शांति परम सुख पाए।
हे मनुष्य, जितने भी जीव हैं सबके अंदर एकमात्र उसी परमेश्वर का अंश है। सच्ची बात तो यह है कि सारी सृष्टि ही उसी परमेश्वर के अंदर है। उस परमेश्वर से बाहर तो कोई सृष्टि ही नहीं है। ईश्वर ने गीता अध्याय 13 का श्लोक 22 में कहा कि इस देह में स्थित या आत्मा वास्तव में परमात्मा ही है। गीता अध्याय 15 का श्लोक 7 में कहा कि इस देह में यह जीवात्मा मेरा ही अंश है। गीता अध्याय 13 का श्लोक 17 में कहा कि इस देह में वह परब्रह्म सबके हृदय में स्थित है, जो ज्योतियों का भी ज्योति है। और गीता अध्याय 18 का श्लोक 60 में ईश्वर ने कहा कि शरीर रूप यंत्र में आरूढ़ हुए अंतर्यामी परमेश्वर अपनी माया से उनके कर्मों के अनुसार भ्रमण कराता हुआ सब प्राणियों के हृदय में स्थित है। यदि आप किसी भी व्यक्ति का अपमान करते हैं या उससे झगड़ा करते हैं तो आप उस व्यक्ति को नहीं बल्कि ईश्वर अर्थात ब्रह्म को ही अपमानित करते हैं, अथवा उस ईश्वर या पूर्ण ब्रह्म से ही झगड़ा करते हैं। इस हालत में आपको सुख शांति किस प्रकार मिलेगी बताओ? इसीलिए सब जीव से प्रेम करना शुरू कर दीजिए तथा सब जीवों का सम्मान कीजिए।
थलचर और गगनचर भूमि पे जितने जीव हैं सारे, सब में वही कण कण में समाया रूप और नाम है न्यारे न्यारे। नर में पशु में ऊंच नीच में नर में पशु में ऊंच नीच में योगी ब्रह्म ही ब्रह्म निहारे। सब में वही कण कण में समाया योगी ब्रह्म ही ब्रह्म निहारे।
हे मनुष्य, आप चाहे जिस ईश्वर को पूज लो, वरदान देने का काम एकमात्र केवल पूर्ण ब्रह्म परमेश्वर ही किया करते हैं। जो व्यक्ति दूसरे देवताओं की पूजा करते हैं, उस व्यक्ति का वह पूजा अविधि पूर्वक है। तो बताओ, उस पूजा से उस व्यक्ति को क्या मिलेगा? कौन सा फल मिलेगा?
किसी देव को पूज लो या धरो किसी का ध्यान, मैं ही आत्मा सिद्ध करूं और दूं मैं ही वरदान, दूं मैं ही वरदान।
देवताओं को पूजने वाला देवताओं को प्राप्त होते हैं, पितरों को पूजने वाले पितरों को प्राप्त होते हैं, भूतों को पूजने वाले भूतों को प्राप्त होते हैं, और पूर्ण ब्रह्म को पूजने वाले पूर्ण ब्रह्म परमेश्वर को ही प्राप्त होते हैं। और पूर्ण ब्रह्म के भक्तों का पुनर्जन्म नहीं होता। अब आप स्वयं विचार कीजिए कि आपके लिए किसकी पूजा करना उत्तम रहेगा।
देवों को पूजे तो देव मिले और स्वर्ग में जा कुछ काल बिताए। पितरों को पूजे तो पितृ मिले और पितरों में जाकर वो बस जाए। भूत और प्रेत को पूजने वाले, भूत और प्रेत को पूजने वाले जन्म इन्हीं की योनि में पाए। भोग के कर्मों के प्रारंभ में वो मृत्यु लोक में लौट के आए। 184 योनि में फिर मानव तन में लौट के आए। श्रद्धा बिन वैराग्य न होता, श्रद्धा ही मन को मुक्ति दिलाए।
हे मनुष्य, श्रद्धा के गर्भ से ही विश्वास जन्म लेता है। जिस व्यक्ति के अंदर विश्वास होता है, केवल वही व्यक्ति तर्क जाल से निकल पाता है और उसके मन में प्रेम उत्पन्न होता है। विश्वास के बिना प्रेम नहीं है, तथा प्रेम के बिना कोई भक्ति भी नहीं होती। तो कोई भी व्यक्ति ईश्वर को कैसे प्राप्त कर लेगा? यदि आप ईश्वर को पाना चाहते हैं और ईश्वर का आशीष पाना चाहते हैं, तो स्वयं को चेक कीजिए कि क्या आपके अंदर श्रद्धा, विश्वास, प्रेम और भक्ति है।
श्रद्धा के गर्भ से जन्म लेता विश्वास, तरक जाल से निकल कर पूरी हो हर आस, पूरी हो हर आस। श्रद्धा के बिन प्रेम नहीं है, प्रेम बिना मुझको ना पाए। प्रेम के बिन कोई भक्ति नहीं, तो कैसे फिर वो मुक्ति पाए।
हे मनुष्य, ईश्वर ने कहा कि मैं ही निराकार हूँ और मैं ही साकार हूँ, लेकिन प्राणी इस भेद को नहीं जान पाता है। इस पूर्ण ब्रह्म को पाना बड़ा ही कठिन है, परंतु भक्ति भरे नयनों से ये सहज ही प्राप्त हो जाते हैं।
निराकार हूँ मैं ही साकार हूँ, निराकार हूँ मैं ही साकार हूँ, प्राणी भेद ये जान न पाए। मैं ही आरंभ हूँ और मैं ही अंत हूँ, लोक पर लोक के दर्शन पाए। नित्य अजन्मा ब्रह्म हूँ मैं ही, मुझ में ही सारी सृष्टि समाए। अलख निरंजन हूँ, दुर्लभ असाध्य हूँ, पर भक्ति भरे नैनों को मैं सहज ही प्राप्त हूँ, सहज ही प्राप्त हूँ। निराकार ब्रह्म से न होते संतुष्ट, कई चाहते हैं देखना समीप अपने इष्ट को। एक एक पग कर चलते ही जाते, वो ही पहुंचते हैं अपने निर्दिष्ट को। अरे एक एक पग कर चलते ही जाते, वो ही पहुंचते हैं अपने निर्दिष्ट को। निराकार ध्यावे या वो ध्यावे साकार रूप, दोनों प्राप्त कर।
अध्याय 18। ध्यान पूर्वक इसको सुनिए और स्वयं विचार कीजिए। धन्यवाद।
सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। चाहे कह लो अमृत वचन तुम, चाहे कह लो गीता का ज्ञान। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। आदि श्री जी दे रहे गीता का ये ज्ञान, साक्षात है सामने, कर लो अपना कल्याण, कर लो अपना कल्याण।
हे मनुष्य, आज रेडियंट उपदेश ऑफ गीता का अंतिम अध्याय 18 शुरू होगा और आज रेडियंट उपदेश ऑफ गीता समाप्त हो जाएगा। तो इस उपदेश के समाप्त होने के उपलक्ष्य में मैं ईश्वर पुत्र आदि श्री अरुण आपको एक गुप्त विद्या बताऊंगा, जिसको जानकर आप सचमुच सहज में ही मोक्ष को प्राप्त कर लेंगे। इस गुप्त विद्या को मरने की कला कहते हैं। हे मनुष्य, मानव जाति का एक प्रधान उद्देश्य है मोक्ष प्राप्त करना। इसीलिए मनुष्य के शरीर को मोक्ष का द्वार कहा जाता है। मनुष्य की विडंबना है कि मोक्ष पाने के समय को वो यूं ही गंवाता रहता है। वह सारी उम्र भोग विलास में बिताता है। मृत्यु के समय में मनुष्य के मन में जो वासना रहती है और जो अधूरी कामना रहती है, उसी के अंतर्गत मनुष्य का दोबारा जन्म होता है। इस गुप्त विद्या को मरने की कला कहते हैं। व्यक्ति पूरे जीवन काल में चाहे जैसा भी कर्म किया हो, लेकिन मरने के समय में यदि वह मन को एकाग्र करके ईश्वर का ध्यान करते हुए शरीर का त्याग करे, तो वह सीधा ईश्वर के चरणों में पहुंच जाता है। हे मनुष्य, आज रेडियंट उपदेश ऑफ गीता का अंतिम अध्याय 18 शुरू होगा और आज रेडियंट उपदेश ऑफ गीता समाप्त हो जाएगा। तो इस उपदेश के समाप्त होने के उपलक्ष्य में मैं ईश्वर पुत्र आदि श्री अरुण आपको एक गुप्त विद्या बताऊंगा, जिसको जानकर आप सचमुच सहज में ही मोक्ष को प्राप्त कर लेंगे। इस गुप्त विद्या को मरने की कला कहते हैं। हे मनुष्य, मानव जाति का एक प्रधान उद्देश्य है मोक्ष प्राप्त करना। इसीलिए मनुष्य के शरीर को मोक्ष का द्वार कहा जाता है। मनुष्य की विडंबना है कि मोक्ष पाने के समय को वो यूं ही गंवाता रहता है। वह सारी उम्र भोग विलास में बिताता है। मृत्यु के समय में मनुष्य के मन में जो वासना रहती है और जो अधूरी कामना रहती है, उसी के अंतर्गत मनुष्य का दोबारा जन्म होता है। इस गुप्त विद्या को मरने की कला कहते हैं। व्यक्ति पूरे जीवन काल में चाहे जैसा भी कर्म किया हो, लेकिन मरने के समय में यदि वह मन को एकाग्र करके ईश्वर का ध्यान करते हुए शरीर का त्याग करे, तो वह सीधा ईश्वर के चरणों में पहुंच जाता है। उसको दोबारा जन्म नहीं लेना पड़ता है, अर्थात उसको आवागमन से छुटकारा मिल जाता है। इसीलिए मृत्यु का क्षण बड़ा ही महत्व का क्षण होता है। मरने के समय मन के अंदर जैसा भाव होता है, उसी के अनुसार उसको दूसरा शरीर मिलता है। महर्षि जरत भरत एक तत्वदर्शी ऋषि थे। वे मोक्ष के द्वार तक पहुंच चुके थे। उन्होंने हिरण के एक बेसहारा बच्चे को पाल लिया था। उस बच्चे से उसका मन इतना लग गया था कि वह हर हमेशा हिरण के बच्चे की चिंता में लगा रहता था। यहाँ तक कि उन्हें मृत्यु के समय में भी उनका ध्यान भी उसी बच्चे में था। इसी कारण उनको अगले जन्म में हिरण की योनि मिली थी। इसीलिए मृत्यु के समय व्यक्ति को अपना ध्यान केवल परमेश्वर में रखना चाहिए, ताकि उसे मोक्ष मिले तथा उनको पुनर्जन्म के चक्र में भटकना ना पड़े। यही मेरा आपके लिए अंतिम सुझाव है और मैं रेडियंट उपदेश ऑफ गीता के अंतिम अध्याय 18 में आपको केवल यही गुप्त विद्या देना चाहता हूं, ताकि आप इसको जानकर मोक्ष को प्राप्त कर लें। धन्यवाद। I, Son of God, Adi Sri Arun, wants to share my thoughts with you at the end of Radiant Updesh of Gita. Oh man, all the living beings return to all the worlds, and in the end they all come to this earth. But the person or the creature, they never come to this earth again.
जीव भूमि पर लौट कर सब लोकों से आए, वो नहीं लौटे फिर यहाँ। शरण जो मेरी आए।
If a person is more vicious than vicious, more sinful than sinful, whether he is among sinners like Chandals, etc., etc., or a woman, or belongs to all four Varnas like Brahmans, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, if he also goes to the refuge of God, then he one attains the ultimate goal, that is, that person gets rid of birth and death. That person soon becomes a pure soul and that person never perishes.
जो भी दुराचारी पापी हो, जन्मों जन्मों पाप कमाए, लेकर मन में भाव प्रेम का मेरी शरण में जो आ जाए, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो, जो भी मेरा ध्यान लगाए। मेरे भक्त का नाश ना हो कभी, जन्म मरण से मुक्ति पाए, आश्रित मुझ पर मेरी कृपा से शाश्वत शांति परम सुख पाए।
Oh man, all the living beings have only one part of the same God inside them. The truth is that the whole creation is within the same Supreme Lord. There is no creation outside that God. God said in Gita chapter 13 verse 22 that the soul situated in this body is actually the Supreme Soul. In Gita chapter 15 verse 7 it is said that the soul is in this body is a part of me. In Gita chapter 13 verse 17, it is said that in this body the Parabrahm or Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, who is also the light of lights. And in Gita chapter 18 verse 60, God said that the inner God, mounted in the form of a body, is situated in the heart of all living beings, moving through his illusion according to their action. If you insult or quarrel with any person, then you do not insult that person, but only God, that is Brahm, or quarrel with the God and Brahm. How will you find happiness and peace in this condition? That's why start loving all living beings and respect to all living beings.
थलचर और गगनचर, भूमि पे जितने जीव हैं सारे, सब में वही कण कण में समाया, रूप और नाम है न्यारे न्यारे। नर में पशु में ऊंच नीच में, नर में पशु में ऊंच नीच में, योगी ब्रह्म ही ब्रह्म निहारे। सब में वही कण कण में समाया, योगी ब्रह्म ही ब्रह्म निहारे।
O man, whichever God you worship, only Purna Brahm Parameshwar or Supreme Lord does the work of giving boons. The person who worships others deities, if that person worships in any ultimately, the person who worships other deities, if that person worships in an ultimately manner, then what will he get from that worship?
किसी देव को पूज लो या धरो किसी का ध्यान, मैं ही आत्मा सिद्ध करूं और दूं मैं ही वरदान, दूं मैं ही वरदान।
Those who worship the gods attain the gods. Those who worship the ancestors attain the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts attain the ghost. And those who worship the absolute Brahm or Supreme Lord attain the absolute Brahm or Supreme Lord. That the devotees of Purna Brahm, that is Supreme Lord, do not take rebirth. Now think for yourself that whose worship would be best for you.
देवों को पूजे तो देव मिले और स्वर्ग में जा कुछ काल बिताए। पितरों को पूजे तो पितृ मिले और पितरों में जाकर वो बस जाए। भूत और प्रेत को पूजने वाले, भूत और प्रेत को पूजने वाले जन्म इन्हीं की योनि में पाए। भोग के कर्मों के प्रारब्ध में वो मृत्यु लोक में लौट के आए। 184 योनि में फिर मानव तन में लौट के आए। श्रद्धा बिन वैराग्य न होता, श्रद्धा ही मन को मुक्ति दिलाए।
O man, faith is born from the womb of admiration. The person who has faith inside, only that person knows how to get out of the trap of logic, and love arises in his mind. There is no love without faith, and there is no devotion without love. So how can one attain God? If you want to get God and want to get God's blessings, then check yourself whether you have faith, trust, love and devotion inside you.
श्रद्धा के गर्भ से जन्म लेता विश्वास, तरक जाल से निकल कर पूरी हो हर आस, पूरी हो हर आस। श्रद्धा के बिन प्रेम नहीं है, प्रेम बिना मुझको ना पाए। प्रेम के बिन कोई भक्ति नहीं तो कैसे फिर वो मुक्ति पाए।
O man, God said that I am the formless and I am the corporal. But the people do not know this difference. It is very difficult to attain this Purna Brahma Parameshwar or Supreme Lord, but it is easily attained through devotional eyes.
निराकार हूँ मैं ही साकार हूँ, निराकार हूँ मैं ही साकार हूँ, प्राणी भेद ये जान न पाए। मैं ही आरंभ हूँ और मैं ही अंत हूँ, लोक पर लोक के दर्शन पाए। नित्य अजन्मा ब्रह्म हूँ मैं ही, मुझ में ही सारी सृष्टि समाए। अलख निरंजन हूँ, दुर्लभ असाध्य हूँ, पर भक्ति भरे नैनों को मैं सहज ही प्राप्त हूँ, सहज ही प्राप्त हूँ। निराकार ब्रह्म से न होते संतुष्ट, कई चाहते हैं देखना समीप अपने इष्ट को। एक एक पग कर चलते ही जाते, वो ही पहुँचते हैं अपने निर्दिष्ट को। अरे एक एक पग कर चलते ही जाते, वो ही पहुँचते हैं अपने निर्दिष्ट को। निराकार ध्यावे या वो ध्यावे साकार रूप, दोनों प्राप्त करते हैं परम पद विशिष्ट को।
So now you listen to Radiant Updesh of Gita, last chapter 18. Listen to it carefully and think for yourself. Thank you.
सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। चाहे कह लो अमृत वचन तुम, चाहे कह लो गीता का ज्ञान। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। आज श्री जी दे रहे गीता का ये ज्ञान, साक्षात है सामने, कर लो अपना कल्याण, कर लो अपना कल्याण।
Oh man, today the 18th chapter of Radiant Updesh of Gita will start. And today the teaching of Radiant Updesh of Gita will end. So, on the occasion of the end of this sermon, I, the son of God Adi Sri Arun, telling you a sacred knowledge. Knowing this, you will really attain salvation very easily. This occult science is called the art of dying. Oh man, one of the prime objectives of mankind is to attain salvation. That's why the human body is called the door of salvation. The irony of man is that he keeps on wasting the time of attaining salvation. He spends his whole life in luxury. The lust that remains at the time of death and the unfulfilled desire that remains, a man is born again. This sacred knowledge is called the art of dying. No matter what kind of work a person has done in his whole life, but at the time of death, if he concentrates his mind and leaves the body while meditating on God, then he reaches directly at the feet of God. He doesn't have to take rebirth again. That means he gets rid of the traffic. That's why the moment of death is a very important moment. According to the feeling inside the mind, at the time of death, it gets the body again. Maharshi Jad Bharat was a Tatudarshi Saga. He had reached the door of salvation. He had adopted a helpless baby deer. He was so attached to that child deer that he was always worried about the baby deer. Even at the time of his death, his attention was on the same deer. Because of this, he got the vagina of a deer in his next birth. Therefore, at the time of death, one should keep his attention only on the Supreme Lord, so that he may attain salvation, and he should not wander in the cycle of death and birth. This is my final suggestion for you. And at the end of Radiant Updesh of Gita, I want to give you only this sacred knowledge, so that you may attain salvation by knowing it. Thank you.
जो भी दुराचारी पापी हो, जन्मों जन्मों पाप कमाए, लेकर मन में भाव प्रेम का मेरी शरण में जो आ जाए, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो जो भी मेरा ध्यान लगाए। मेरे भक्त का नाश ना हो कभी, जन्म मरण से मुक्ति पाए। आश्रित मुझ पर मेरी कृपा से शाश्वत शांति परम सुख पाए। आश्रित मुझ पर मेरी कृपा से शाश्वत शांति परम सुख पाए। आदि श्री ने फिर से बताया गीता का वो ज्ञान, गीता का वो ज्ञान। सबको मुक्ति का मार्ग दिखाया आदि श्री ने, सबको मुक्ति का मार्ग दिखाया आदि श्री ने। अद्भुत गीता का ज्ञान बताया आदि श्री ने, अद्भुत गीता का ज्ञान बताया आदि श्री ने। सबको मुक्ति का मार्ग दिखाया आदि श्री ने। अद्भुत गीता का ज्ञान बताया आदि श्री ने, अद्भुत गीता का ज्ञान बताया आदि श्री ने। अद्भुत 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 है ये गीता का ज्ञान, अद्भुत 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 है ये गीता का ज्ञान। ईश्वर पुत्र की अद्भुत माया, ईश्वर पुत्र की अद्भुत माया। कोई भी भेद ये समझ ना पाया, कोई भी भेद ये समझ ना पाया। मन को वश में करते हैं जो, मन को वश में करते हैं जो। ब्रह्म योग और ध्यान धरारे आदि श्री हैं जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे। ओ आदि श्री हैं जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, जग से, जग से आदि श्री है जग से न्यारे, जग से न्यारे, से न्यारे।
Scattered people on this earth. This program is such a journey that will change your life. This journey will take you to the destination of salvation and happiness. Watch this program comfortably. Observe and go with it while watching. Do not allow the mind to inquire or analyze it. Do listen to the word and get immersed into the word, and listen to the words one by one and drown in the words. Just keep listening to the words and keep watching whether you reach the destination or not. It is only for you. You are a drop of light in this creation. You all have only one search, the door of salvation, and the attainment of salvation, as well as the search for blissful life on this earth, good health, infinite peace, knowledge of good fortune, and eternal life. In any case, the joy of salvation. To achieve all these things, happiness and eternal peace, every human seeks Gurudev. But can you find it? Yes, it can be achieved. These all are possible only when the authorized Guru or Son of God arrives on this earth. It is the Adi Sri Arun who is Son of God. By following whose path, you will achieve all these things, because Adi Sri Arun is the only way. So, let's start the journey.
Today we have thanked the Almighty. Prabhu, we are your devotee. We glorify you from deep within. Shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Today we have thanked the Almighty. Prabhu, we are your devotee. We glorify you from deep within. Shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. You have created all of us, only you can quench our thirst.
Lead us the path of righteousness and bless us with happiness.
Prabhu, bless us with happiness. Prabhu, bless us with happiness. Today we have thanked the Almighty. Prabhu, we are your devotees. We glorify you from deep within. Shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. You're our heavenly Bhagavan. Help us to love everyone.
Rid our hearts of jealousy and let us always be your devotees.
Prabhu, let us always be your devotees. Prabhu, let us always be your devotee. Today we have thanked the Almighty. Prabhu, we are your devotee. We glorify you from deep within. Shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Vishnu, your love is pure and true.
Help us to protect our dharma and purify our karma.
Prabhu, purify our karma. Prabhu, purify our karma. Today we have thanked the Almighty. Prabhu, we are your devotees. We glorify you from deep within. Shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings. Prabhu, shower us with your blessings.
ईश्वर पुत्र आदि श्री अरुण, तेरा ब्रह्म ज्ञान व्यापक था, व्यापक है, व्यापक रहे। ब्रह्म ज्ञान रूपाय विश्व उत्पत्त्यादि हेत्वे तापत्रय विनाशाय आदि श्री वयं नमः। जो ब्रह्म ज्ञान रूप हैं, जो इस जगत की उत्पत्ति, स्थिति और विनाश के कारण हैं तथा तीन तापों को नाश करने वाले हैं, उस ईश्वर पुत्र आदिश्री अरुण को नमस्कार करता हूँ।
Son of God Adi Shri Arun, I have come to consult you with the inspiration of Kal administration.
Hey Devi, welcome to the consultation room.
Now you should start preparing to compete with Kali Purush from today itself. That's why I have come to your service. Now you order your warriors to destroy Kali Purush and his representative. Now don't waste your time giving instructions to people.
You have made me aware of the time fixed by the Kal administration. It is a very good thing. There is no wastage of time in preaching to the people. This incarnation of mine is embodiment of perfect love. This is the time for me to play love among my devotees, in which I have to make people realize that first of all God loved man and not man. The whole world is the result of the attraction of this love.
But what is its purpose in today's politics?
Its purpose is man has to learn that without love there is no creation. And even if the creation is done, then without love the life of man is incomplete. Politics alone does not fulfill life, nor is it the goal of life. The ultimate goal of the life is love, only love, because from there the path of devotion begins.
That's all fine, but in today's time, America is a superpower. But except America, 3 more countries are dreaming of becoming a superpower. Today's politics says that there are many powerful countries developed with many atomic bombs which are ruled by the representative of Kali Purush. She is sitting ready to make this earth human void. These powers should be destroyed before those countries make this earth humanless.
Let this time come.
But when will that time come, Son of God?
It's about to come, but not now. Now is the time for the complete love Leela of Son of God Adisri Arun. Before starting the Leela of destruction, the Son of God Adisri Arun wants to give this message to the human beings, that ultimately love is the basis of the creation and love is the essence of the world.
नातेदार ये मेरे सब हैं नातेदार, लोगों ये अवतार हैं आदि श्री अवतार, लोगों ये अवतार हैं आदि श्री अवतार, 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 संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, श्री आदि श्री अवतार। बंधु सखा और मात पिता कह जुड़े अनेकों नाते, ओ बंधु सखा और मात पिता कह जुड़े अनेकों नाते, बालक समझ के पल न झुलाते, प्रेम से भोग लगाते, तुम ही हो घट घट के वासी, तुम ही हो घट घट के वासी, पार्थ सारथी बन के सुनाया, पार्थ सारथी बन के सुनाया, गीता का सब सार, गीता का सब सार। जो भी मेरे भक्त हैं सब हैं नातेदार, जो भी मेरे भक्त हैं सब हैं नातेदार। आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार। संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, श्री आदि श्री अवतार। जो है निभाते, जो मुझको है भाव से ध्याते। ओ प्रेम के नाते जो है निभाते, जो मुझको है भाव से ध्याते। वो मुझको हर रूप में पाते, जो भी मेरी शरण में आते। आदि श्री घट घट के वासी, तुम ही हो घट घट के वासी। काम क्रोध मद लोभ न भाए, काम क्रोध मद लोभ न भाए। मैं हूँ प्रेम आधार, तुम हो प्रेम आधार। जो भी मेरे भक्त हैं सब हैं नातेदार, जो भी मेरे भक्त हैं सब हैं नातेदार। प्रेम ही भक्ति, प्रेम ही पूजा, प्रेम ही भक्ति, प्रेम ही पूजा, प्रेम ही भक्ति, प्रेम ही पूजा। आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार। संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार। प्रेम ही भक्ति, प्रेम ही पूजा। आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार, आदि श्री अवतार। संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार। श्री आदि श्री अवतार। संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार, संपूर्ण प्रेम अवतार।
प्रेम ही
Oh, what is the explanation of the supreme power in the words of music? The words of music of a musician like you. In fact, only the foresight of the musician can transcend the limits of the time and see the supreme power that is eternal.
बजाओगे राधा गोरी, ऐसा मौसम है, ऐसा मौसम है। उतर कर अंबर से तारे, झिलमिल झिलमिल कर प्यारे,
सुंदर राजकुमार बनकर रास करते हैं हिलमिल सारे।
ये कितना दिव्य नजारा है,
प्यारा स्वर्ग हमारा है। राधा पूछे शाम से, राधा पूछे शाम से, कह दो कहाँ कैसा मौसम है।
सोने जैसे दिन और चांद जैसी रात हैं, सोने जैसे दिन और चांद जैसी रात हैं,
हीरो के महल पे जवाहर की बरसात।
सोने जैसे दिन और चांद जैसी रात हैं,
सोने जैसे दिन और चांदी जैसी रातें हैं।
हीरो के महल पे जवाहर की बरसाते हैं। सिर पर मोर मुकुट भावे, बेकल जमुना किनारे।
है सुंदर राजकुंवर बनकर रास करते हैं हिल सारे। सोने जैसे दिन और चांदी जैसी रातें हैं। सोने जैसे दिन और चांदी जैसी रातें हैं।
हीरो के महल पे जवाहर की बरसाते।
सोने जैसे दिन और चांदी जैसी रातें हैं। सोने जैसे दिन और चांदी जैसी रातें हैं।
हीरो के महल पे जवाहर की बरसाते हैं। सिर पर मोर मुकुट भावे, बेकल जमुना किनारे।
है सुंदर राजकुंवर बनकर रास करते हैं हिल सारे। सुन के खो जाओगे राधा गोरी, ऐसा मौसम है। पावन मुखड़ों पे प्यारी मुस्कान है। ओ पावन मुखड़ों पे प्यारी मुस्कान है।
बागों में, बहारों में, ये सुख की भरी खाने। बागों में, बहारों में, ये सुख की भरी खाने।
फसा में हम मन के गुब्बारे, दिशा में खुशी के फुवारे। है सुंदर राजकुंवर बनकर रास करते हैं हिल सारे। ओ
राधा पूछे शाम से, हो राधा पूछे शाम से, कह दो कन्हा कैसा मौसम है।
दुनिया बनाने ऐसी किसने पुकारा है। दुनिया बनाने ऐसी किसने पुकारा है। बेहद गगन हो जैसे मिलता इशारा है।
सुखद संकल्प यही धारे, नयन वही नवयुग निहारे।
है देवी राजकुंवर बनकर रास करते हैं हिल सारे। ओ
राधा पूछे शाम से, कह दो कन्हा कैसा मौसम है। ओ राधा पूछे शाम से, कह दो कन्हा कैसा मौसम है।
हो सुन के खो जाओगे राधा गोरी, ऐसा मौसम है। ओ ऐसा मौसम है। 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 ऐसा मौसम है।
कौन था ये? कोई दिव्य शक्ति थी, महाशक्ति। बस तुम्हें भी ऐसी ही दुनिया बनानी है।
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे संभवामि युगे युगे।
If you collect the knowledge of the world, squeeze all the Vedas, Upanishads and Shastras, then its essence is radiant Updesh of Gita. The essence of all this knowledge, such knowledge before which there is nothing. After this knowledge, there is nothing to know. This knowledge has been called Moksha Sannyas Yoga in chapter 18. Time changes every day. Problems change every day. The topic of research changes every day. But the knowledge of radiant Updesh of Gita did not change. People have changed. People's thinking has changed. But the philosophy of radiant Updesh of Gita did not change. Oh man, this radiant Updesh of Gita by Son of God Adi Sri Arun will stop every storm that arises in your life. Oh man, the Gita is the theology of the entire human race, in which there is an answer to every question that arises in the mind of every human being and a solution to every problem in human life. Radiant Updesh of Gita gives satisfactory answer to solve all your confusions. Oh man, Gita and its knowledge is continuously flowing through marriages and will continue to flow even further. All you need is the bath in this Gyan Ganga of Gita. So, are you ready to take a bath in this Gyan Ganga of Gita?
आदि श्री देने चले भक्तों को जब ज्ञान, ब्रह्म ज्ञान में खो गए, केंद्रित हो गया ध्यान, केंद्रित हो गया ध्यान। जब देने को चल दिए आदि श्री जी ज्ञान, भक्त ध्यान में खो गए, केंद्रित हो गया ध्यान, केंद्रित हो गया ध्यान। ब्रह्मा जागे नारद चौंके, ब्रह्मा जागे नारद चौंके, त्रिभुवन में कौतूहल जागा। चारों दिशाएं शांत हुई और ध्यान धारा पे सभी का लागा। चारों दिशाएं शांत हुई और ध्यान धारा पे सभी का लागा। गीता का महाज्ञान सुनने को, गीता का महाज्ञान सुनने को शिव ने ध्यान समाधि त्यागा। एक अर्जुन के निमित्त मिलेगा, एक अर्जुन के निमित्त मिलेगा, ज्ञानामृत सबको बिनु मांगा। आदि श्री प्रेम अवतार, जय जय प्रेम अवतार। आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि। आदि श्री प्रेम अवतार, जय जय प्रेम अवतार। आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, जय जय प्रेम अवतार। आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, आदि श्री जय कल्कि, आदि श्री जय 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 जय कल्कि। आदि श्री प्रेम अवतार, जय जय प्रेम अवतार। आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि, 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 आदि श्री जय जय कल्कि।
Radiant Updesh of Gita, chapter 18, is called Moksha Sannyas Yoga. Time flies every day, but even after spending 5,124 years, the knowledge of Radiant Updesh of Gita did not change. Such knowledge in front of which there is nothing. So let's start Moksha Sannyas Yoga now. Arjuna said to God that, O Antaryami, hey Vasudev, I want to know the elements of renunciation and renunciation separately, because renunciation and renunciation sound similar. But how are they different? This series started because of Arjuna's refusal to fight the war. Arjuna had a dilemma and Krishna had a solution. Arjuna's dilemma is going away, but there is still a question left in his growing curiosity. Arjun wants to know the difference between renunciation and renunciation by separating them. Many intelligent people consider renunciation of one's work, activities, that is, renunciation of job, marriage, earning money, etc. in worldly life. Some other intelligent people consider renunciation of the fruits of all the actions as renunciation. But sannyas means renunciation of the fruits of action. Renunciation of the fruits of action here means renunciation of all desires of this world and the hereafter. Intellectuals have two beliefs. According to one, giving up one's worldly life is sannyas, and the other belief says that giving up the fruits of one's actions while doing one's best is sannyas. Many great scholars believe that karma itself is flawed. That's why karma is worth giving up. That is, any deed, any kind of deed, there must be fault in it. That's why every action is worth giving up. In such a situation, the only solution left is renunciation, whereas many other scholars say that it is not worth giving up deeds like yajna, charity, and penance. O man, the way to God opens through sacrifice, charity, and penance. If you leave them alone, how will you reach God? That's why many scholars believe that this action is not worth giving up. If the literal meaning of renunciation and sannyas is seen, then the meaning of both of them is the same. That's why Arjuna asks to tell the difference between the two to clear his doubt. Ishwar's son Adishri Arun explains the different opinions of different scholars and says that out of these two, first listen to me about renunciation. Because renunciation has been said to be of three types on the basis of sattvic, rajas, and tamas distinction. Like sacrifice and penance, there are three differences in sacrifice. Listen to these three types that what is renunciation, then only you will be able to understand it well. O man, karma like yajna, charity and penance should not be abandoned. Rather, it is an essential duty worth doing. A man is considered wise who has attained the knowledge that he has to perform all his actions without fruit and attachment, and such a wise man performs sacrifice, charity, and charity only to purify himself. If they do penance, then how can they be sacrificed in such a situation? Son of God Adishri Arun tells the right thing from different opinions of different scholars and says that deeds like yajna, charity and penance should not be abandoned. Karmas in the form of yajna, charity and penance cannot be abandoned at all. Why? Because all these three are meant to purify. But I, the son of God Adishri Arun, also telling you that whatever work you do, you must give up the fruits and attachments. When it came to renunciation, I did not talk of renunciation of action. Rather, I told you to give up its fruits and the attachment arising from them. My special emphasis has been on Karma Yoga. The same is possible for all of you. Karma Yoga is the only thing by which you can bring your life to God while you are alive. Some scholars used to say that there is some or the other bondage in every action. That's why leave all the deeds. But neither I believe so, nor Lord Sri Krishna would believe so. Rather, what the scriptures justify, which are prescribed, for example, it is not appropriate to sacrifice the fixed deeds like yajna. Actions which are prohibited or actions which are done for the sake of fruit should be discarded. But one should never give up one's prescribed deeds. When due to any attachment you sacrifice your prescribed deeds, then such renunciation is called tamas renunciation. If you leave your duty by getting trapped in any attachment of this world, then it will be considered as tamas renunciation. It is not easy to do one's duty and perform one's duty. This also hurts our body. When you do your work, there will be definitely be one problem or the other. Now, if we accept that every action is in the form of suffering and considering this, if we give up our duties due to the fear of physical discomfort, then it will be considered as renunciation of rajas. You never get the fruit of such renunciation. By the way, whenever a sacrifice is made, its result is ultimate peace. O man, will try to sacrifice something sometime. You yourself will understand what is the reality. But if you sacrifice your actions due to physical discomfort, then you will not get any result because it is Raja's sacrifice. O man, the work mentioned in the scriptures is also considered as prescribed karma or prescribed karma. But doing such work is a duty. Sacrifice of its attachment and fruit in the sense of considering the work as a duty is considered as sattvic renunciation. There is a special thing in sattvic sacrifice, and that is why it is completely different from tamasic and rajasic actions. It is not the renunciation of karma, but the renunciation of the fruits of karma and its attachment. This is the renunciation that purifies the doer. Why so? Because the person who does not indulge in work considering it as duty does not get bound by its fruit. He doesn't get trapped in his attachment. This is the reason that it purifies his conscience, and therefore that sattvic sacrifice is the best. O man, the action which has been permitted by the scriptures is called niyat karm or efficient deeds. But those deeds which are against the scriptures, those deeds are not beneficial. Well, that enunciate. To do is only a skillful action. Why? Because unskilled work will never lead to good. But at the same time, don't hate the unskilled and don't get trapped in the fruits of skilled work. O man, renunciation of karma is not possible by any person who has assumed a human body. That is, any person who is in a human body, your deeds, your values are bound with you. When you leave one body and go to another, these rituals also go with you. Whether the body is of this life or of the next life or even of the next life, it is not possible that you can give up your actions as long as the body is there. The work that can sacrifice the fruit is only that sacrifice, nothing else. Only one who does not get bound in the bondage of his deeds will be called a renunciate. Those who do fruitful deeds definitely get the fruits of their deeds, good, bad, or both good and bad mixed. Such three types of fruits are definitely received after death. But the greatest renunciate can be a complete monk who has renounced the fruits of his actions. In other words, it can be stated as the actions of the people who do not give up the fruits of their actions, good, bad, and mixed. Such three types of fruits are definitely there after death. But the fruits of the actions of the people who give up the fruits of their actions do not happen even in any time. And when this happens, it means that the person has been saved from the cycle of birth. Only such a person will get the supreme abode, and this is called pure renunciation. If there is attachment to the things of the world by wearing saffron clothes, then it will neither be considered as renunciation nor will it be considered as renunciation. Because of ignorance, we cannot see the soul within us, can't see the God inside you. They just go on doing deeds and go on getting entangled in the bondage of those deeds. But success is achieved only when you can end the deeds. That means the fruit of your actions becomes zero. But at the same time, I also say this to you that it is not possible to give up karma as long as the body is there. To remove this confusion, I will tell you 5 ways for the accomplishment of complete deeds, and these 5 ways have also been said in Sankhya Shastra. The seat and the actor and the various organs and the several functions of various sorts and the divinity also, the fifth among these. Whatever action a man does by the body, speech, and mind, right or the opposite, these 5 are its causes. Now, such being the case, verily he who, as untrained in understanding, looks on the pure self as the agent, that man of perverted intelligence sees not. He who is free from egotistic notion, knowledge, the object known, the knower, form, the threefold impulse to action, the organ, the end, the agent, from the threefold basis of action, whose mind is not tainted, though he kills these creatures, he kills not, he is not bound. O man, knowledge and action and the agent are said in the science of gunas to be of 3 kinds only. According to the distinction in gunas, hear the duly of them. That by which a man sees the one indestructible reality in all beings, inseparate, in the separated, that knowledge know thou as Sattvic. But that knowledge which by differentiation sees in all the creatures various entities of distinct kind, that knowledge know thou as Rajasic. But that which clings to one single effect, as if it were all, without reason, having no real object and narrow, that is declared to be tamasic. An action which is ordained, which is free from attachment, which is done without love or hatred by one, not desirous of the fruit, that action is declared to be sattvic. But the action which is done by one longing for pleasures or done by the egotistic, costing much trouble, that is declared to be rajasic. The action which is undertaken from delusion without regarding the consequence, loss, injury, and ability, that is declared to be tamasic. Free from attachment, not given to egotism, endued with firmness and vigor, unaffected in success and failure, an agent is said to be sattvic. Passionate, desiring to attain the fruit of action, greedy, cruel, impure, subject to joy and sorrow, such an agent is said to be rajasic. Unsteady, vulgar, unbending, deceptive, wicked, indolent, desponding, and procrastinating, such an agent is said to be tamasic. O man, now listen to the 3 types of differences of intelligence and earth according to the qualities told by me in complete detail. O man, the intellect which accurately knows the path of instinct and the path of renunciation, duty and non-duty, fear and fearlessness, bondage and liberation, that intellect is sattvic. The intelligence by which a man does not know religion and unrighteousness, as well as duty and non-obligation accurately, that intelligence is rajasic or royal. O man, the intellect surrounded by tamagun, which considers unrighteousness as this is religion, and similarly considers all other things as opposite, that intellect is tamasi. O man, the unadulterated holding power by which man holds the activities of the mind, life, and senses through meditation yoga, that dhriti is sattvic. But, O man, the holding power by which a man, desirous of fruit, with utmost attachment, holds on to religion, meaning, and works, that holding power is rajasic. The holding power by which a person with an evil mind does not leave sleep, fear, worry, and sorrow and insanity, that is, keeps holding on, that holding power is tamasi. O man, now listen to me about the three types of happiness. The happiness in which a seeker enjoys the practice of bhajan, meditation, and service, and by which the end of sorrows is attained, which is such a happiness, although it seems like poison in the beginning, but in the end it is like nectar. That's why the happiness that arises from the prasadam of the intellect about God is said to be sattvic. O man, I am defining happiness so that you can understand easily. When we were young, did we like to read? No. But after growing up, when we run our life with the same study, then we understand the value of that study. In the same way, a person trapped in worldly matters does not like the practice of God's hymns, his meditation, service, etc. in the beginning. He looks like poison. Similarly, while studying, the child's devotion to God and his meditation become nectar later. When that God is attained, in whose happiness the seeker attains the end of sorrows, that is, the happiness that puts an end to sorrows, such a happiness that although in the beginning it seems like poison, but in the result it is like nectar, that happiness is pure and called it sattvic. The happiness which is poison first and then nectar, and the happiness which ends sorrows, that happiness is sattvic. The pleasure that is caused by a combination of objects and senses, although it appears to be like nectar at the time of enjoyment, it is like poison in the end. Therefore, it is called rajas. The pleasure which bewitches the soul in the time of enjoyment as well as in the result, that pleasure arising from sleep, laziness, and carelessness is said to be tamas. O man, there is no such being in the earth or in the sky or in the gods and anywhere else except these, which is devoid of these three qualities arising from nature. This thing can be said in this way, that there is no such creature in the earth or in the sky or among the deities who is free from these three qualities born of nature. Everything is defined by these three gunas. Krishna has told such a panacea method to recognize his existence, after knowing which you can remove all your ignorance. You can become better by recognizing yourself and decide whether this world is good for you or that world. The biggest problem of our country is caste system. You never understand what God said and just got stuck in the stereotypes they made. Now listen carefully what God is saying. O Paranta Brahman, the actions of Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and of Shudras are divided by the qualities arising from nature. Your actions will be based on your nature, as will be your karma, so will be your caste. The name of the family in which you are born does not decide your caste. Rather, your qualities decide which are the qualities that consider you a Brahman. Just listen carefully. Controlling the conscience means removing the mind from all directions and focusing it on one place. Keeping the senses under control, suffering for the sake of one's religion, being pure from within, and forgiving the offenses of others are the qualities of a Brahman. There is a simplicity in every work of a Brahman. Keeping his mind, senses, and body simple, having faith in the scriptures, God, and the other world, etc. Studying the Veda scriptures, and experiencing the essence of the divine. All these are the natural actions of a Brahman. Now, know what are the qualities of a Kshatriya. The first quality is bravery. The person who is not brave, who is not ready to fight bravely in the war, you cannot call him a Kshatriya. Apart from being brave, a Kshatriya must be sharp and have patience. If there is no restraint, then you will not be able to last long in the war. Kshatriyas also have to be clever. Why? Because there is not only fighting in war, but diplomacy and strategy are also used. Gun is one of the greatest qualities of a Kshatriya, not to run away from battle. Apart from this, a Kshatriya should give charity and should have self-respect. All of these are the natural actions of a Kshatriya. Lord Krishna is telling about Vaishyas that farming, cow rearing means keeping cows, and buying and selling are considered to be the natural deeds of Vaishyas. True behavior in the form of buying and selling means business. It is not appropriate for a true merchant to give less or take more than the weight, measure, and count, etc. in the buying and selling of goods. That is, dishonesty in the transaction and accepting the rights of others through lies, fraud, theft, and force, or in any other way. Being truthful in these is the natural work of Vaishyas. Lord Krishna tells about Shudra, that means those who have little knowledge, in which there is lack of knowledge. The one who has less knowledge and can get salvation only by serving all the three categories of people. There is no other option for him. If you do not increase your knowledge, then you will come in the category of Shudra, and then serving everyone will be the natural action of Shudra. A man engaged in his natural activities with readiness attains the ultimate perfection in the form of God realization. Listen to the method by which a man engaged in his natural work attains supreme perfection by doing work. By worshipping that Supreme Lord from whom all beings have originated and from whom this whole world is pervaded, man attains supreme perfection by worshipping that Supreme Lord through his natural activities. Well behaved one's own religion is better than the religion of others, even if it is devoid of merit, because a man does not commit sin by doing the work of self righteousness as determined by nature. Therefore, one should not give up spontaneous action even if it is flawed. Why? Because, like smoke to fire, all actions are mixed with one or the other defect. A man without attachment everywhere, without desire, and with a living heart, through Sankhya Yoga, attains the supreme perfection of actionlessness. O man, O son of Kunti, in the manner in which man attains the Brahman by attaining that selfless perfection, which is the perfection of Gyan Yoga, you understand from me in brief. One who has a pure intellect and eats light, sattvic, and regular food, one who renounces words and eats solitude and pure country, one who controls the mind, speech, and body by restraining the conscience and senses with sattvic holding power, destroying attachment and hatred completely and taking shelter of resolute dispassion and renouncing ego, force, pride, lust, anger, and attachment, constantly devoted to meditation yoga, a man free from attachment and peace, to be integrally situated in Supreme God. Then the yogi with a happy mind, situated in oneness with the Satchidanandan Brahm, neither grieves for anyone nor aspires for anyone. Such a yogi who has equanimity in all beings attains my supreme devotion. Parabhakti means Tattva Gyan or highest quality of knowledge. Through that highest quality of knowledge, that is, through Tattva Gyan, a person knows me, the Supreme Soul, exactly as I am, and by that devotion, knowing me from the Tattva immediately enters into me. O man, a karma yogi who has become devoted to me while always performing all the actions attains the eternal, imperishable supreme position by my grace. Therefore, surrendering all your actions to me with your mind and relying on the yoga of equanimity, be devoted to me and always be mindful of me. Today, it is the demand of the time that you should follow me according to your mind. If you obey me today, you will easily cross all the troubles. Since I don't die, you won't die either. If you don't listen to me because of your ego, you will be destroyed. That means you will be corrupted by charity. If you are believing that I will not fight by taking the shelter of ego, then this determination of yours is false, because your nature will force you to engage in war. The work which you do not want to do because of attachment, you will do that too by being bound by your previous natural work. O man, your virtues, your nature make you perform actions, and this is the doer. While explaining this, Lord Krishna says, O Arjuna, taking the shelter of your ego, you are assuming that I will not fight. Then this determination of yours is false. Why? Because your nature will force you to engage in war. Arjun is a Kshatriya. Can it happen that a war starts and he keeps sitting on one side holding hands? No, never. It is his ego which is telling him that he will not fight. But it is false. It is a lie. The truth is that Arjuna's nature is such that he would get him to fight. Arjun refused to fight. Analyzing it, Lord Krishna says that he doesn't want to do it because of attachment and he is feeling it right now. But his very nature will compel him to fight. O man, like Arjuna, you all have natural deeds done before. Whether it is of previous birth or of this birth, it is the nature that makes you perform actions. O man, whether you want it or not, you do those actions, and doing those actions is also your religion. This is also your original religion. That's why thinking that you will not do your duty under the influence of temptation is wrong. It is false. Swadharma means our religion. Man and religion cannot be separated. Like the fragrance of a rose, like the coolness of water. Can't you separate the rose and its fragrance? Water and its coolness cannot be separated. In the same way, both man and his religion cannot be separated. O man, the Supreme Lord, who is situated in the heart of all the living beings, making them travel according to their deeds by his illusion, mounted in the form of the body, if your body is considered as a machine or a machine, then this machine is moving in this world. No machine can do anything by itself. That machine needs someone to run it. And the one who runs the machine like your body, that is God. That is Brahm. This is the illusion of the same Brahm. Your body works according to your deeds in this world. Its control is in the hands of the one who is Brahman, who is the Supreme Soul. And you have that soul in your body. O man, recognizing this Brahm situated in our heart is the whole game. As long as you do not recognize that Brahman, till then this world of Maya will go on and on. O man, I tell you the truth that you should forget all the feelings and go to the shelter of God within you. You can go to the shelter of that Brahm by leaving all the feelings like shame, fear, pride and attachment, neither fear nor pride nor attachment. To take shelter of the Supreme Lord means to understand His everything. Contemplating the qualities effects, and nature of that God with full devotion and love, selflessly performing our duties as per His orders and surrendering to Him is the only way to attain supreme peace and supreme abode. O man, in this way, I have told you this most confidential knowledge than confidential. Now consider this mysterious knowledge completely and do as you want. O man, I am your charioteer. I am your guide. I am your teacher. What does the master do? That teacher teaches everything to his disciple and sends him to the test, that is, war. After that, he is a disciple, and with him is the knowledge imparted by the Guru as well as the disciple's own practice. Lord Krishna did the same thing in the Mahabharata war, and I am also doing the same thing. After giving all the knowledge, Lord Krishna told Arjuna that now you do whatever you want to do. But the most important thing is that knowledge he has given to Arjuna is very confidential. No one knew about this knowledge except Krishna. Arjuna knows that Lord Krishna is also with me. Too, in the same way, the knowledge that I am giving you, no one else knows this knowledge except me. And know that you are not alone. And know this truth that you are not alone, but I am also with you.
ब्रह्म ज्ञान का पाठ पढ़ाया, ब्रह्म ज्ञान का पाठ पढ़ाया आदि श्री ने। अद्भुत गीता का ज्ञान बताया आदि श्री ने। अद्भुत गीता का ज्ञान बताया आदि श्री ने।
O man, since you are very dear to me, I will say this most beneficial word to you. That's why you listen to the most confidential word, which is the most mysterious from all the confidential ones. Why? Because I like you and I wish you well. O man, according to your wish, I, the son of God Adi Shri Arun, am putting the last sermon in the bag of your spread mind. I found that you really want to listen to my sermon. If you want to know what is lying with your intelligence and logic, then listen. My last sermon is only this much, that till now I have given you the education of knowledge, karma or yoga, etc. Forget that now. Forgetting all the methods of worship, all the methods of yoga and all the religions, come to my shelter only in such a way like a child bleeding with thorns and covered in mud, runs away crying and takes shelter in the lap of his mother. And the way the mother washes away all the dirt and mud from his body and makes him again pure and clean like a flower. O man, in the same way, I will wash away the dirt of all your sins and make you free from sins. And by liberating you from all worldly bondages, I will grant you eternal peace. That's why Sarva Dharmam Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraj Aham Tva Sarva Pape Bhayo Moksha Swami Ma Shuchaha.
धर्म अधर्म के भेद भुलाकर तू मेरी शरणागत हो जा। तू मेरी शरणागत हो जा। सब पापों से मुक्ति दूंगा। शोक न कर मेरी भक्ति में खो जा। शोक न कर मेरी भक्ति में खो जा। शोक न कर मेरी भक्ति में खो जा। धर्म अधर्म सब भेदों से न्यारे, धर्म अधर्म सब भेदों से न्यारे। अमर है गीता के बोल सारे, अमर है गीता के बोल सारे। आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा। आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, ब्रह्म ज्ञान के बोल है न्यारे। आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, ब्रह्म ज्ञान के बोल है न्यारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, श्री कल की कल युग में नाम तुम्हारे, श्री कल की कल युग में नाम तुम्हारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, एकमात्र आदि श्री हमारे, एकमात्र आदि श्री हमारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, श्री कल की कलयुग में नाम तुम्हारे, श्री कल की कलयुग में नाम तुम्हारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा।
O man, whatever knowledge I have given you till now, forget it for now. Have you ever seen an innocent child? Just like an innocent child whose hands and feet are covered with mud, his pants and shirt should also be dirty, and he is crying profusely. When he sees the mother, he lifts both his hands up to go into the lap of the mother. What does mother do then? Mother does not see that my clothes will get dirty. She picks up the innocent child covered in mud, she bathes him with water and washes off his mud. Then, after that, she makes him wear clean washed clothes, and then, taking him in her lap, she recites some virtues so that her child becomes happy. In the same way, you also come to me like an innocent child. Don't think that you are a sinner, or that you are impure, or that your thoughts are not bright, or that you are not wise. Like a child suddenly raised both his hands to go to his mother's lap, in the same way, don't think anything. You also take refuge in me. If you do this, then I will also clean you, purify you, and take you in my arms by freeing you from all sins. In other words, it can be said that by leaving all the religions, that is, all the duties in me, you come in the shelter of only one me, the Almighty God. I will free you from all sins. Do not grieve for this. O man, you should never say this song form mysterious sermon to a person without penance, nor to a person without devotion, nor to someone who has no desire to listen, and never to someone who sees fault in me. O man, the man who, having supreme love for me, recites this supremely mysterious Gita Shastra to my devotees, he will be attained by me only. There is no doubt about it. There is no one among humans who does work more dear to me than him. And there will be no one more dear to me in the whole world in the future. The person who will read the Gita Shastra in the form of a dialogue between us, both in this religious way, I will be worshipped by the Gyan Yagya by him too. This is my opinion. O man, the person who listens to this Gita Shastra with devotion and without any evil vision, he will also be free from sins and will attain the best of the worlds of those who do good deeds. Lord Krishna asked Arjun, "Did you listen to this Gita Shastra with concentration? And has your ignorance born fascination been destroyed?" In the same way today, I am asking you, O man, did you listen to this radiant Updesh of Gita with concentration? And has your ignorance born fascination been destroyed? Arjuna replied that, O Achyut, by your grace, my delusion has been destroyed and I have gained memory. Now I am stable without doubt, so I will obey you. Now the question arises that, what answer do you give to me? Sanjay testifies to the conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna that, thus I heard this wonderful, mysterious, thrilling conversation between Sri Vasudeva and Mahatma Arjun. Sanjay also said in the course of testifying that, by the grace of Sri Vyasji, having received divine vision, I heard directly from Yogeshwar Lord Sri Krishna himself saying this most confidential yoga to Arjuna. Sanjay told Dhritarashtra that, O Rajan, I am rejoicing again and again by remembering again and again this mysterious, benevolent, and wonderful dialogue between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjun. Sanjay also said that, Hey Rajan, where Yogeshwar Lord Sri Krishna is, and where Gandiv bow bearer Arjun is there is Shri, Vijay, Vibhuti, and Achal Niti. This is my opinion. Now the question arises that, what did you hear from me? What did you think of my strength? How did you know my Vibhuti? And what do you think about me? Tell it, and like Sanjay, give testimony to it among the people. O man, this was the radiant Updesh of Gita chapter 18, in which I disclosed very mysterious and secret things. O man, this knowledge is the link between this world and the other world. O man, today you heard the last chapter of Radiant Updesh of Gita chapter 18. Today, the Radiant Updesh of Gita means that the upheaval knowledge of Gita ends. Now think for yourself whether you want a good life. Should you go this route? Now you have to decide. Since I love you very much and I wish the best for you, that's why I gave you the ultimate, best, and most confidential knowledge. This knowledge, including science, is the king of all the knowledge, the king of all secrets, very pure, very good, directly fruitful, religious, very easy to use, and imperishable. Now today, I, the son of God Adi Shri Arun, take leave of you. Thank you.
सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। चाहे कह लो अमृत वचन तुम, चाहे कह लो गीता का ज्ञान। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। जीव भूमि पर लौट कर सब लोकों से आए, वो नहीं लौटे फिर यहाँ। शरण जो मेरी आए, भव बंधन कट जाए। जो भी दुराचारी पापी हो, जन्मों जन्मों पाप कमाए। लेकर मन में भाव प्रेम का, मेरी शरण में जो आ जाए। धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो, धर्मात्मा हो जाता है वो, जो भी मेरा ध्यान लगाए। मेरे भक्त का नाश ना हो कभी, जन्म मरण से मुक्ति पाए। आश्रित मुझ पर मेरी कृपा से, शाश्वत शांति परम सुख पाए। मुझ पर आश्रित मेरी कृपा से, शाश्वत शांति परम सुख पाए। श्रेष्ठ पुरुष इस पथ पे चले तो, चलते हैं सब प्राणी पीछे उनके। उनका दिया आदेश उन्हीं का, आचरण करें सब लोग उन्हें सुन के। मेरे लिए कोई कर्तव्य न अप्राप्त कुछ, फिर भी चलूं मैं अपना कर्म पथ चुन के। ऐसा न करूं तो मुझे हानि होगी अर्जुन, मुझको आदर्श माने लोग सारे जग के। अर्जुन संसार को तू केवल एक वृक्ष जान, वृक्ष की वो जड़ जिसके ऊपर की ओर है। ब्रह्मा जी प्रमुख सार वेद जिसके पल्लव है, आदि मध्य अंतरहीन और है न छोर है। पल पल ये बनते बिगड़ते ही रहते हैं, बैराग की कुठारी को काटना कठोर है। थलचर और गगनचर, भूमि पे जितने जीव हैं सारे। सब में वही कण कण में समाया, रूप और नाम है न्यारे न्यारे। नर में पशु में ऊंच नीच में, नर में पशु में ऊंच नीच में, योगी ब्रह्म ही ब्रह्म निहारे। सब में वही कण कण में समाया, योगी ब्रह्म ही ब्रह्म निहारे। तन मन प्राण पवित्र बनाए, कर्म के यज्ञ की पावन ज्योति। यज्ञ के कारण हो बलिदान तो, सोई आत्मा जागृत होती। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। चाहे कह लो अमृत वचन तुम, चाहे कह लो गीता का ज्ञान। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। किसी देव को पूज लो, या धरो किसी का ध्यान। मैं ही आत्मा सिद्ध करूं और दूं मैं ही वरदान, दूं मैं ही वरदान। देवों को पूजे तो देव मिले, और स्वर्ग में जा कुछ काल बिताए। पितरों को पूजे तो पितृ मिले, और पितरों में जाकर वो बस जाए। भूत और प्रेत को पूजने वाले, भूत और प्रेत को पूजने वाले, जन्म इन्हीं की योनि में पाए। भोग के कर्मों के प्रारंभ में वो मृत्यु लोक में लौट के आए। 184 योनि में फिर मानव तन में लौट के आए। श्रद्धा बिन वैराग्य न होता, श्रद्धा ही मन को मुक्ति दिलाए।
सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। चाहे कह लो अमृत वचन तुम, चाहे कह लो गीता का ज्ञान। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान।
श्रद्धा के गर्भ से जन्म लेता विश्वास, तरक जाल से निकल कर पूरी हो हर आस, पूरी हो हर आस। श्रद्धा के बिन प्रेम नहीं है, प्रेम बिना मुझको ना पाए। प्रेम के बिन कोई भक्ति नहीं, तो कैसे फिर वो मुक्ति पाए। निराकार हूँ मैं ही साकार हूँ, निराकार हूँ मैं ही साकार हूँ। प्राणी भेद ये जान न पाए। मैं ही आरंभ हूँ और मैं ही अंत हूँ, लोक पर लोक के दर्शन पाए। नित्य अजन्मा ब्रह्म हूँ मैं ही, मुझ में ही सारी सृष्टि समाए। अलख निरंजन हूँ, दुर्लभ असाध्य हूँ। पर भक्ति भरे नैनों को मैं सहज ही प्राप्त हूँ, सहज ही प्राप्त हूँ। निराकार ब्रह्म से न होते संतुष्ट, कई चाहते हैं देखना समीप अपने इष्ट को। एक एक पग कर चलते ही जाते, वो ही पहुँचते हैं अपने निर्दिष्ट को। अरे एक एक पग कर चलते ही जाते, वो ही पहुँचते हैं अपने निर्दिष्ट को। निराकार ध्यावे या वो ध्यावे साकार रूप, दोनों प्राप्त करते हैं परम पद विशिष्ट को।
सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान। चाहे कह लो अमृत वचन तुम, चाहे कह लो गीता का ज्ञान। सुन लो और समझ लो, ये है आदि श्री का ज्ञान।
आदि श्री जी दे रहे गीता का ये ज्ञान, साक्षात है सामने। कर लो अपना कल्याण, कर लो अपना कल्याण।
O man, in the beginning of creation, God created the whole world from one part of his soul, from which all the incarnations come to the earth from time to time, and the remaining 3 part of that God's soul was left in the space. Now the question arises that what will be the use of that 3 part of the God's soul which was left in the space? When all the incarnations that have come on earth to establish the dharma or righteousness in all 4 stages will fail in doing so, then that 3 part will come after descending on the earth and will establish dharma or righteousness by bringing dharma in all 4 stages. In Treta Yuga, Lord Ram could not establish dharma or righteousness in all 4 stages on the earth. In Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna, who is known as the complete incarnation, both of them too could not establish righteousness in all 4 stages on the earth. So, the question arises that who will come now to establish dharma or righteousness in all 4 stages? Because the arrival of the complete incarnation has already happened, then this becomes a matter to think about. But man does not take steps to think in this direction. The remaining 3 part of God's soul will come after incarnating on earth, which was earlier left in the space. That 3 part is called as the 23rd Maha-Avatar of Virat Purush. He is called by the name Adi Shri Arun. He manifested himself in many forms according to the need, and he is also known by the name of the complete incarnation. Today, he is going to give you that knowledge which you would have never heard of before. Its sentiment or theme has been threaded in 7 notes of music which you will get a chance to listen.
Thank you.
बहती रहेगी ताकि गंगा, बहती रहेगी ताकि गंगा, भक्ति और धर्म की धारा, भक्ति और धर्म की धारा, आदि श्री के संग गंगा में करता रहा स्नान जग सारा, करता रहा स्नान जग सारा, धर्म अधर्म के भेद भुलाकर तू मेरी शरणागत हो जा, तू मेरी शरणागत हो जा, सब पापों से सब पापों से मुक्ति मेरी भक्ति में खो जा, शोक न कर मेरी भक्ति में खो जा, धर्म अधर्म सब भेदों से न्यारे, धर्म अधर्म सब भेदों से न्यारे, अमर है गीता के बोल सारे, अमर है गीता के बोल सारे, आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, ब्रह्म ज्ञान के बोल है न्यारे, आदि श्री का ज्ञान है न्यारा, ब्रह्म ज्ञान के बोल है न्यारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, श्री कल की कल युग में नाम तुम्हारे। श्री कल की कल युग में नाम तुम्हारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, एकमात्र आदि श्री हमारे। हाँ, एकमात्र आदि श्री हमारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, श्री कल की कलयुग में नाम तुम्हारे। श्री कल की कलयुग में नाम तुम्हारे। हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा, हे नाथ नारायण कल की देवा। हरे कल की, हरे कल की, कल की कल की, हरे हरे। हरे कल की, हरे कल की, कल की कल की, हरे हरे। कल की कल की, कल की कल की, कल की कल की, हरे हरे। कल की कल की, कल की कल की, कल की कल की, हरे हरे। हरे हरे कल की, हरे हरे। हरे हरे कल की, हरे हरे। जय आदि श्री, जय जय कल की। 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 जय आदि श्री, जय जय कल की।